Welcome back to Tutorial Tidbits and welcome to my channel. I'm Elizabeth St. Hilaire, and this morning I decided to take a walk in the sunny Northern California weather that has just started to cool off. So it's a little nicer for walking these days. And since today is Friday, I am coming to you with yet another interesting stencil gel printing technique. Now, this is something that I just figured out recently. I've never presented it before. It's double patterns and double stencils in one print. It takes a little patience and practice, and you may want to write down the steps as I go through them, because I find that jotting down step 1, step 2, step 3, and so on and so forth can really help jog your memory when you go out to your studio to try and replicate it. So that's a helpful tip. And get ready, because we are going to make something amazing. And stencils are on sale. 25% off stencils. My designs, all of my designs with joggles are on sale for 25% off. So what could be better? And I'm using old blast from the past stencils, some vintage designs, if you will, some classics. So 'tis the season. Anyway, if you have a few minutes, let's go check it out. Welcome back to the studio. Today I am going to show you how to create a complex multi-pattern technique on the gel plate using stencils. This is something that I've just been recently playing around with, and it requires a lot of concentration and knowing and understanding the order of the steps. So let's do it together and see if I can remember how to do it. I don't have any cliff notes. I don't have any cheat sheet off to the side. I'm just winging it. Okay, so I'm working with golden fluid acrylics. I'm working with teal, Indian yellow, Naples yellow, pyrrole orange, and quinacridone magenta. I'm going to set those off to the side. I'm also working with 2 stencils. This one is designed from Barb by Joggles, designed by Barb from Joggles. Either way. And this is called Bubble Blast. I really like this because I love circles and I love all the different sizes of circles, and it reminds me of carbonated drinks. This one is mine, a blast from the past. This one is called Ziggity Zag or Zigzag or something like that. It's from one of my first stencil releases, and I really love it because it has big solid pattern areas and big solid open areas. And that's the key to making this technique work. So if you've got stencils in your stash that you want to try it with, I suggest you look for things that have big openings and big solid patterns and something relatively simple. And there's a lot of different combos you can do with this. Okay, so the other stencil that I'm using is this one. Yes, there's one more. And I think this one is called Railroad Stacks. This is another one by me from an earlier release. So 3 stencils here, and 1 9x11 gel plate, a couple of 6-inch sprayers, and a leap of faith. And as a safety net, our favorite rice paper, our durable, sturdy rice paper that pulls all the paint off the plate when you use it on the smooth side down. So let's get 2 pieces out of here. It looks like it's got some blue on it, but that's fine. It'll only contribute to the overall beauty of things, the beauty of imperfection. So smooth side is always going to go down on the plate, and smooth side is what's facing up towards you in the pad. Okay, so I've got 2 sheets of that. I'm going to start out with a pale yellow background solid sheet. So I'm using Naples yellow because it's pale and it's opaque, but I'm going to bump it up a little bit by adding a little bit of Indian yellow to it. You could use a different light yellow that you have, like cadmium yellow or dairy lye yellow or benzimidazoline yellow. Any of those would work. We're just going for a light, kind of creamy, but yellowy base sheet. So we're going to roll this out with the 6-inch sprayer evenly and smoothly over the plate. And then we're going to put the smooth side down of the rice paper in to make that print. And that's pulled most of the paint off of the plate and given us this nice yellow sheet. I'm going to use that extra sheet to see if I can get a little bit more yellow off. Smooth side down generally pulls stuff off, so that's pretty good, close to clean. So our first patterned layer is going to be the bubble dots, and we're going to do that in orange on that yellow. So I'm going to put a little pyro orange out. I'm going to use that same yellow brayer. It doesn't matter if a little bit of my yellow mixes in with my orange because they are cousins next to each other on the color wheel. So those colors mixed together are not going to cause any contamination or change the color much at all. Okay, so here's the bubble dot stencil, and we're going to take that first sheet of yellow and print. Now, as a rule with stencils, especially ones with smaller openings, you really want to apply a lot of pressure with the tips of your fingers to make sure you get the paper down in between all the fine laser cut detail of these joggle stencils. And then the best way to know if you've got it all is to peel it up and look before you dismount the paper. I can see that in here, there's some smaller dots that need a little bit more pressure. So before I take it off, I'm applying a little more pressure for those small spaces. And then I've got this beautiful bubble blast pattern. So I'm going to then take my cleanup sheet. I'm going to pull this back and use this cleanup sheet to just take off the ghost print. Rather than wipe that off with a baby wipe, here I've transferred it to another sheet of rice paper as a cleanup print, and this will be the base layer for another print. And I can press it again. See if I can get some more color off the edges. And I always use rice paper for my cleanup sheets because I'm always going to make them into another print. So I'll set that off to the side. I've got some orange on this. I'm going to flip it over so I can make sure I have a really clean next print. So this is the tricky part. Now we are going to use the stencil we're going to put it on the plate without any paint on the plate. That's a clean plate. We're putting this stencil down, and then we are going to take the quinacridone magenta and we are going to brayer it down through. Now, if I squirt it on the top, it tends to mash underneath. So you've got two options. You can roll it onto your brayer on another gel plate and then bring the brayer painted on here and roll it smoothly. You can put it on a palette sheet. I have found that I can put it with pretty good luck because I don't want to dirty another gel plate right now, along the solid edge here. Just put it along the solid edge there. And then I'm going to take my warm color brayer and I'm going to pull it from that edge. And then spread it into those openings. So the idea is not to squeeze a bunch of it in the middle and then be pushing it under the edge of the pattern. So I ran a bead of it along that solid edge and then pulled it. This way, I should be able to lift this up and have a good transfer of the pattern. Now, I'm going to press this off onto that cleanup sheet. I'm just going to set that down, and I'm going to bring that cleanup sheet and press it on top so I can pick up any of the paint that I can off the surface of this stencil. Not too much, but it gets off the excess paint before I toss it to the side. And again, my cleanup sheet. So now I've got the racing railroad stacks pattern that I've painted through onto the plate. So we're going to let that dry, and then we're going to give it a whole coating of teal to pick it up as a ghost print. But it's important that at this point, we have transferred the pattern onto the blank gel plate by brayering paint through this stencil. So the pattern is on the plate. We're going to just get it dry enough that we can put the teal paint over it without moving it and reactivate and cause this magenta pattern to release. So we're going to dry that a little bit. Still got my base print here. Then I'm going to grab my teal and I'm going to put it in over, and then I'm going to come in with a teal brayer. I don't want any red, magenta, pink, or orange in this brayer because I don't want to tint that teal paint. And I'm going to go with a light hand, and I'm going to lightly spread this teal right over the top with a nice clean brayer. That's why I like to have a warm and cool color brayer at all times so that I don't get any warm color transferred into my cool teal. Okay, so now we're going to take the Ziggity Zaggity stencil and put that over, and then we're going to come back with this base print. So we got that whole plate covered, and now we're adding the stencil and coming back with our base print. So what happens here is the pattern, the two colors, the magenta and the teal that we just put down, are only going to show through the openings in the Ziggity Zaggity stencil and not anywhere else. So we're going to get a second pattern from the stencil that's got a pattern in it. So we're going to have two separate patterns in warm and cool color combo, which should be really nice. The teal with the orange is always nice. So again, this is a ghost print that we're using the teal to moisturize and pick up the magenta that was slightly dry. So we really need to get a lot of good pressure down in between these openings with our fingertips to get that first magenta layer to release with this teal layer successfully. We don't want to pull this up and have just the teal come up and the magenta is still stuck on the plate. So a lot of pressure down in these open spaces to really rub on that magenta. And again, we're going to take a peek, but you can see, you can feel the openings in the stencil through this rice paper. That's what I love about this rice paper. It's very malleable. It'll go down in between the spaces into the smallest details of the stencil. It's got that smooth side, which pulls off a lot of paint. And for gluing down and collaging, it's wonderful because it's so highly absorbent. It glues down really flat. Okay, so here we go. This is exactly what I wanted. Look at this beautiful results. So here we're getting the two-tone pattern. We're getting the railroad stacks stripes in the teal and the bubble blast dots in the orange and the yellow. And we've got this psychedelic combination of colors and patterns. That is so fun. And the key is combining unique color combos with unique stencil patterns. So here we've got the three patterns. We've got the bubble blast, the railroad stacks, and the Ziggity Zaggity. So what a fun combination that was. And I would like to try it again with a couple of other stencil combos that I have pulled out on my desk here that I thought would also do well based on the design of the open space and the positive space. So are you writing down the steps? Because I know that you feel like you've got it, you think you've got it, and then it seems confusing. That's why I always like a book better than just watching videos, because I can write notes in the margins and I can highlight things and I can refer back to it. So I hope you're writing down the steps, and thus far I hope you are inspired to either buy some new stencils or pull out some of your old ones, your classics that you haven't used in a while, and create something new.
All I want, me and you.
So here are the fruits of our experimental labor. Some of them came out better than others. This is a fun one, the ghost print with the pattern on the rice paper. This one, I think I would have liked better if the blue was in this area, but this is a mask, so it's the flip-flop of the reverse. You can see the outline of the pattern, but the two-tone pattern is pretty cool. It's just that the leaf shapes are a little hard to discern, but I love the two patterns going on in that one as well. This one offered a lot of big open spaces. And that gave us big areas for the bubble blast pattern to show up in between the leaves and out around the edges. And the pattern that's in the leaves is subtle. It's that stripy pattern. It's subtle. Could have been more pronounced with the higher contrast of the yellow and orange in the base layer. Here's our ziggity zaggity with the bubble blast and the railroad stacks. Great color combo and two very distinct patterns. And lastly, the ghost print from this one that still had the polka dots in it over a yellow prepared solid. So there's some great examples of, oh, and then this one. This one, who could forget this one? This was so fun. This was a result of my experimenting with this one and realizing that I wish that the leaf pattern was positive. So I grabbed this Fiddly Ferns stencil where the leaf pattern would be positive. So you can see that the Fiddly Ferns has the the railroad stacks in it going this way, and also the plains mask in the background. So two totally different patterns in there. So there you have it. And I am also happy to announce that starting today, all of these stencils, my throwback originals, as well as my current designs, are all on sale with joggles at 25% off. So now's the time to stock up. These sales don't last forever, but they usually last for at least a week. But 25% off is a great deal. It's a great time for you to stock up on some of my older designs that maybe you haven't gotten or perused or browsed because you've been caught up in the new designs, or maybe you've been waiting for a sale to get the new designs. Either way, go shopping. So that was a ton of fun. I hope that you are excited to go into your stencil stash and try this technique. Give yourself some patience. It takes a little while to perfect it. Sometimes you do the steps in the wrong order, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means you get different results. So anyway, I'd love to hear your comments below with regards to how you think or what you feel about this technique, and maybe what kind of color combinations that you worked with that came out well. I read and respond to all the comments, so I'd love to hear from you. And happy Friday, and thank you for being here.